Hi guys, Luton here, welcome back for another video, and you won't have to put up with my recycled beta footage for much longer because tomorrow I should have some new stuff for you. So getting into Battlefield 5, I thought one of the best things I can do is just kind of catch up, talk with you guys about the channel. So unscripted video today, can I make it a short one? Probably not, we'll see how we go. Yeah, getting back to Battlefield. Now, it's been a long time away, and like many of you have said for the longest time as well, Luton scrubbed BF ages ago, blah blah blah. Yeah, but like I've said on other videos, we're getting back into things, and mainly for the reason that I enjoy the mechanics of this game greatly. I think it's hugely improved, and I think that from the beta as well, many of you guys felt the same way. I know many of my core guys that I play with feel the same way. So you can expect to see more gameplay from me with, say, Supra, TSX, Flame, maybe get Fuse back in the mix, maybe get Lone Wolf back in the mix, so maybe Caius as well back in the mix. Any of you guys remember these people from back in the day? But the more important thing as well, I feel, is to get those guys in on a video, talk about the game, so you guys can hear from them, hear from players, not just hear from me. But look, another thing is, if you're new to the channel, or if you're just not even a subscriber on the channel, you're going to learn fairly quickly that I'm a pretty, I guess, uncompromising producer when it comes to opinions. Now, we're all fallible. I've made my fair share of mistakes in the past when it comes to these things, but at the same time, like I've said so many times, the most important thing there is to be able to put your hands up and say, yeah, you know, that was a bad call from my part. When it comes to this game as well, whilst, yeah, for sure, there's loads of things that I like about it, there's plenty of things that I don't like about it. It's just always that people never seem to hear those things. They seem to focus always on where you're going with the positives. I've said there's loads of issues with this game. The UI, there's often some weird graphical little bits and pieces. Don't be in any illusion. I feel like this game is, I don't know whether rushed is the right word, but it definitely has not been done in the amount of time that I feel it probably required to really get the most out of it. I mean, that's the trouble with this kind of cycle that you have with games these days, where they're trying to just get stuff turned out. Often these things require so much time. I mean, that's why you see these ongoing processes of a game being fixed over years sometimes, because, you know, you got to say as well at the same time, with Battlefield, you know, they've done so many games at this point, you think that they would have like a stockload of experience to ensure that a really high quality, no issue game gets delivered at release. There's so many issues that we can't know behind the scenes. If they run into technical issues, have they just made difficult design decisions, all these kind of things. There's so many things that you can't really know there. The one thing that we do know is that DICE generally do take the effort to actually fix and update their games post-release. We've seen this since Battlefield 4. So that is one confidence you can go in, I guess, that even if there are issues day one, you know that they're going to get addressed, you know that they're going to get worked on. The more subjective issues of kind of team play and whether it delivers enough of an objective game or enough of a team play leaning game to actually bring any sensibility of that back into the game, that's a different question entirely. And another thing to bring up is just, again, me as a producer, I always enjoy this. We've been round and round this so many times before. The hilariousness of people going like, oh, LT, you're back in on EA's pockets, you're back in the game, you're paying with Chevron. We've been through this so many times. It just makes me laugh every single time. There has never been a situation in a Battlefield game where I have not said what I actually think about the game. My original videos from, like, say, Bad Company back in the day, or Battlefield 3 back in the day, my most critical videos are the ones that often I have DICE people saying, watch that video, liked it. Or saying, I've even had in the past, like when I've done a video which was very critical about certain elements in a game or different mechanics in the game, I've had DICE people saying like, hey, we watched that video, we shared it around the office. Back when Hardline came around, again, like I say, go watch my videos. I was not pulling any punches, and I was way more involved with EA around Hardline than I am at this point in time with this game. So that's the thing. It's like I was significantly more involved with EA around Hardline, and I was ready to say, yeah, I hate this. It's shit. You know, like, don't like this game, don't like the mechanics, don't like the direction of it. And the same when it came to BF1. So far for Battlefield 5, I've been to one event. One. So let's just talk about trustworthiness and producers and the sincerity there, I guess. Now look, we've talked about this before on the channel. I just think it's always an interesting and comical thing for me, because going through the years, you've seen it come and go, and look, I am no illusion at this point. You have people always who will come in who have never seen your content, who have never seen it before, and be like, oh, EA's pocket, you know, you're like, yeah, thanks man, see you later. The only person who can judge the sincerity or the trustworthiness of a producer is yourself, you guys. And I know that many of you guys trust my opinion because many of you have been here for a long time and many of you know me, you know the content that I make, you know my opinions, and that's why I see so many of you leaving comments over the years saying, I wait for your opinion LT, I trust your opinion LT, that's why I'm still subscribed to you LT after like 8 years. The next few weeks for me in terms of the comments are going to be nostalgic if nothing else. So tomorrow I'm going to be delivering some thoughts about the game itself, and it shouldn't be any shock to you guys that I enjoy this game. I've enjoyed it since I started playing through the alpha and the beta. I was genuinely surprised actually, because going into it I was quite jaded and cynical, and having spent the whole of Heartland and Battlefield 1 really hating the direction of the game, I was very surprised to see how it came back and very surprised to feel that I actually really got back that kind of Battlefield feel of not wanting to stop. You know, which I haven't actually felt that for like a good 4 years probably, where, you know, round to round, I'm just like one more round, one more round, one more round. And again, those of you who know me for the longest time know that that's pretty much how I always played BF3, BF4, Bad Company. You couldn't get me off of the game, you know, I'd be playing all night, and even then I'd be like, okay, just one more round. That's how this game feels to me. I've really got that kind of vibe back from it, and again then you can take into all the other stuff we've talked about already with the veterans and so on and so on. As I've said, the release will be a clusterfuck. We know this is going to be the case. People are going to be like, you know, waving their placards and ranting to the hills. But there was a really good comment by Civil War on yesterday's video where he said, Battlefield 5 can only be consumed as a game. After launch, the discussion will shift solely to gameplay. If Battlefield 5 engages more hardcore or veteran players, it will succeed, just like Battlefield 4 did. Battlefield 4 went from disaster to success purely on its ability to do that, and I believe that's going to be the case with Battlefield 5. So guys, if you enjoy my content, if you want to stay here on the channel, please do so. If you dislike my opinions, if you dislike my content, if you think I'm bought, paid for, signed, sealed, delivered, don't watch my content anymore, that is your prerogative. This today was just kind of a little update video, and again, cards on the table, just thought it was worthwhile doing a little update. Haven't done one of these for some time, just to say this is me, this is what I do as a producer, this is my channel, and I guess a big thanks to so many of you who have stuck with me over many years now and continue to watch the channel. It means a lot to me, obviously, for so many reasons. I want to try and branch across to do some other lore stuff very soon, so that's on my kind of radar. Obviously a load of Battlefield content coming up next week and this weekend, probably some live streams in the mix there as well, more Space Hulk stuff to come up. Thanks for watching guys, back tomorrow, loads more content coming up the next week.